Who is Arthur?
Painting your legs.
Arthur?
Yeah.
Who's Arthur? No, okay, it's me.
You're not Arthur.
I have to...
You're not Arthur.
I'm not Arthur. No, what? No, I am Rudimike alias Dietrich.
Yeah, that's you.
That's me. Now, welcome you Google people. You've been waiting, right? And you found me. And I thank you for your support by watching and rating the sermon, or whatever it is. In the Google people you can rate, you know, so don't be afraid to rate a 1. As long as you're rating, I know that some people really come and listen to it. Today is a very important message I have. Very important. Is it moving?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's moving. The message today is very important. Well, I'm already too fast. I have to go back on my notes. All scriptures are given by inspiration of
Go.
Well, there you go. For what? For
I know that already.
For correction and what else? For instruction in righteousness. Okay, we cut it short. It's going to be a long message. I hope you all brought a sandwich with you. And I can tell you a little bit already. It is about love. You know love? L-O-V-E. So it's very important because we all want to be loved. Okay. No, I'll wait a little bit longer. The worldly news, I got some worldly news. And I don't know if I should bring that in because sometimes it's really abhorring. Girls at the age of 12 years have abortions. And the figure was released first by the Department of Health. And it was revealed even in spite that they have a confidentiality rule in there. And they forced them to release that. And that was in the Sunday Times, using the freedom of information. And it shows that many girls with the age of 12 having abortion without the consent of the parents. It's beyond me, you know, I mean, how that can be possible. Those abortions are performed in secret almost, that the parents won't find out, because there is that confidentiality when the student or the little girl comes to the teacher or whatever and says, "Teacher, I'm pregnant." Then they keep it quiet and don't tell anybody, and she gets her abortion. So basically, I think that's enough of that stuff. We have the main theme, like I said, is love. And when we talk about love, we can get involved in a very young age and we can involve in a very old age, because we all want to be loved. I think so. So many people don't understand that there's different types of love. And that's very, very good to know. And I hope that we get maybe today a little bit of an overview of what really love is. And there's many explanations of the word of love. If I ask 5 people or 10 people, what do you think is love? I would get almost a different answer. And many times it will be sexually inclined. They think love is only sex. The first time the word love in the Bible is 280 times. And I would like to have Julie reading it for us. Julie can read it 280 times. It is in the Bible. Now, you're going to start reading?
Yeah.
No. 280 times. It is first listed in Genesis, in the 27th chapter. And it says, "And make me savory meat, such as I love, and bring it to me." Here is Isaac is speaking. "And that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die." So he wanted to have something what he loved to eat. So we can see there's already a different type of love. I love food, I love a certain dish. The second time, the first time it is in the New Testament, is found in Matthew, in the 5th chapter, in the 43rd verse. Ye have heard that it has been said that thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thine enemy. Now, when we just stop on that verse and we're going to take that really in consideration, then we can be misunderstood. So one advice is what you should keep in mind when somebody tells you anything from the Bible. He'll be back. Okay, and basically, when you find in the Bible one verse, don't take it out of context. Always ask, can I read the entire chapter? Do I get really the meaning of what it really says, or is it stuck? Because it says, and hate thine enemy. And when you look yourself, you can look yourself in the 5th chapter of Matthew, in the 44th verse, then you will find out that it does not even mean that you should hate your enemy. Because it says, ye have heard it has been said. You have heard it has been said. That it's not that it is said. So it's very important that you interpret the Bible in a way, in a form where you have understanding more than just one verse. We call it cherry picking. They pick one verse here and one on the other side, and it makes a complete different meaning. Okay, we're coming to 5 words of love. And who knows any of them? They are in Greek. And there's many forms in the Bible when we talk about love what are different. They're different words for love. So the 5 main times I want to deal with today is storge, phileo, xenia, eros, and agape. Basically, I have a very, very small mind, so I have to sometimes think. I'm making up words, and this one is SPEXA. So if somebody says about love, you maybe remember from the first words I just said, from storge, phileo, eros, xenia, and agape. You can form the words from the first letters, and if somebody says how many words of love you have, you can remember the word SPEXA, and that's the beginning of the 5 words. That's just a little trick you can do to remember things. You can do that with your shopping list when you go shopping. This is almost going into mind control. You can control your mind by making up a story. But that's a different subject again. Our main scriptures for today is, by this shall all men know that ye are my disciple, if ye have love one to another. That's very good. So, when you're really a disciple of Christ, that is because you love one another. That's how we see that we are disciples in Christ Jesus.
Can I get one to reading?
Sure.
Thank you.
So, by this shall all men know. Isn't that amazing? All men will know that you show that we are His disciples, that we love one another. Okay, we're coming quickly to the first one, because that's going to be quite elaborate. I could speak on each point really individually of the 5 different types of love. I will try to find a passage in the Bible that explains that type of love, hopefully. We start with the word storge. This is the form what shows natural affection. That means you have a natural affection to your son or to your daughter, as a family, as a father or mother, and you can form a love between friends. There's a different love. Also, you can have a love between an animal. And when you love an animal, that can be very cruel at times, because when the animal dies, you really are so bonded to that animal, so that you really feel pain because you loved it. there's a different type of love. It's called basically storge in the Greek. The verse what came in my mind was in John, the 13th chapter, 34th verse. A new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another, as I have loved you, that you also love one another. Let me find another one. What applies to a natural affection. You can love your friend differently than you love your wife. So you get the idea, the different types of love. It's very important to probably know about it. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might. Again, it's a different type of love. It's a friendship love. And Jacob their father said unto them, Me have ye bereaved of my children. Joseph is not, Simon is not. That's when Joseph was going out to Egypt and so on. You probably know the story. And now you will take Benjamin away, which was the youngest son of Jacob. And all these things are against me. Jacob probably loved all his sons in a different way. And of course he favored somehow Benjamin. Benjamin was the youngest son. And usually that's what happens, that you favor one over the other. So that's a different type of love. So, we understand now almost a friendship love. You can love somebody as a friend. Now the second one is phileo, which is the same, almost similar than storge. It involves the loyalty to a friend, to the family, and to the community. You can love the community work you do. And requires virtue, equality, and familiarity. Philia or phileo is motivated by practical reasons. Both parties would have to have that same love. It also can mean the love of your mind. The city of Philadelphia was built by brotherly love. That's what it means, Philadelphia. Brotherly love. So again, we have a different love to a family or to a pet. So that is in the Bible very distinct what type of love it is. And most of the translation will just say love. If a stranger sojourn with thee in your land, ye shall not vex him. But the stranger that dwelleth with you shall be unto you as one born among you. And thou shalt love him as thyself. So when a stranger comes, you should love him like you love yourself. And ye were a stranger, and God reminds all the Israelites that they were strangers in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. So we can see that phileo and storge is almost the same type of love. And Jesus said, if God were your Father, ye would love me. He was talking to the Pharisees. If God is your Father, you love me. For I proceeded forth and came from God, neither came I of myself, but he sent me. And it says, greater love has no man than this, than a man lay down his life for his friends. See, there you have a friendship love. Greater love has no man than to lay down his life for his friends. So who in the world would really die for your friend? Many would say, oh, that's where the friendship stops. That's enough now. Okay, that was pretty quick. We have already two types of love. Now we're coming to the very problematic type of love, which is eros. And the word says it already because it comes from erotic, relating or dealing with sexual love or passionate love, with sensual desires or longing. The Greek word erota simply means in love. Some translation lists it as love of the body. So it's really a physical aspect. There's a book in the Bible that deals with the erotic love, And many times the children were not allowed to read that book in the Bible. And I don't know if you know which one it is. It's the Song of Solomon. And it says right in the first chapter, in the second verse, "Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth, for thy love is better than wine." And a little bit further, I'm going to quote one more verse. In the 15th verse, in the first chapter, "Behold, thou art fair, my love. Behold, thou art fair. Thou hast dove's eyes." So since most people do enjoy erotic love, it is easy to deceive people with that. And that's exactly what the devil is doing. Because we have so many forms of the devilish deception with the erotic love is not even funny. Where people are so gullible, especially men. Now, let us for a short time think of the words of Jesus, what Jesus said. In Matthew, in the 5th chapter, in the 27th verse, it says, "Ye have heard that was said by them of old time, Thou shalt not commit adultery." So, adultery, our Webster's dictionary says it's called sexual unfaithfulness of a married person. Fornication is sex between others than husband and wife. Now, when we go to Matthew in the 5th chapter, in the 28th verse, it says, "But I say unto you, whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her, has committed adultery with her already in his heart." That's a pretty strong accusation when you really think about it. "But I say unto you, whosoever looketh on a woman," and that is also all the woman looking on a man. So there's a very similarity, because many times when it says women or men, it is a person when you go to the root word. So it deals with both sexes. "And whosoever looketh at a woman to lust after her," that doesn't mean you can look after a woman, but when you make yourself thoughts in your head about that woman, then God says you have committed fornication in your heart. Adultery. You have committed adultery with her in your heart. Now we're leaving the sex part alone. We have that clear. Many items are today sold by half-dressed women, or actually when I was back in Germany, you have big billboards, total frontal nudity of men and women, with the champagne glass selling champagne. Nobody really cares. In the front of the newspapers, totally nudity. Nobody cares. Everybody gets hardened against the two, and they're seeking more. And I only can say one thing: when you do have that problem in that aspect, that lust breeds more lust. It will never stop. It will get worse. That's why we have in some churches pedophiles. That's why we have all of those things going on. Without going into details again. Now we come to the fourth one, which is, how much time we got left? Oh, we got lots of time left. You still with us? Okay. Xenia. Not many people talk about xenia. Xenia is basically just a love between a guest and a host. When you have a guest coming into your house, that is to find respect from the host to the guest, and also the second point is that the guest respects the host. And also when you are a host, you're supposed to give a gift to your guest. That's number 3. And you must be hospitable to the guest and provide them with food, drink, and a bath if it's required. So the rules for that one, we don't speak too much about that type of love. It's called xenia. I've seen certain advertising in it. Most people don't know what it means. The guest must also be courteous to the host, that he doesn't become a burden to the host. So many times they feel that, okay, I'm going to abuse the hospitality of my host. So that's another love, what you respect. It's a respective love. That is in Matthew, you find an example. It says, "If you love them which love you, what reward have you?" Do not even the publicans do the same? See, if you love somebody who loves you, that's easy to love that person. But if somebody says something bad about you, how can you love that person? So that's, if you love them which love you, that's easy. What reward have you then? You haven't got a reward. You haven't shown any love from yourself because you expect that love giving back to you. That's almost like I'm going to invite you for dinner, then you expect me to invite, that I get invited to your place, and vice versa. You know? So you expect something back. That's the wrong time of love. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. That is a verse where I could speak hours on it. Because when we look around in our world today, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. And we see that. We have no affections anymore. We're desensitized. And I don't want to go into television again, because that is exactly what brainwashes us and desensitizes us against evil. We just sit back and, well, that's not too bad. Only 50 people dead. That's okay. Let's rewind it. I like to see that again. You know, that's how we are with that. Because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Okay. Should I wait or shouldn't I wait? I don't know how many pages more. Oh boy, 50 pages more. I think I'm going to stop it right here, the first part. And the telephone didn't go off. Now it did. No, he's not here. You better come back for the second part.